This journal is called Last Voice of Summer, and today I would like to invite you to go on a little journey with me and flip through this fluffy thingy here. Enjoy! Hi there, this is Luise Heinzel. Welcome to my channel Junk Journal Art and welcome to another flip through video. Nice to see you here. Yeah, today I would like to introduce you to this new journal that I've made. And in this journal I've tried to collect the last voice of the summer. And as you can see, this journal, this cover is made out of some fabric and some lace. And before I can start telling you anything about this, I have to say this cover is totally inspired by the lovely Tracy Fox. Perhaps you have seen this collaboration about fast flow stitching that we did with some well-known YouTube artists some days ago. That collaboration was brought to life by Joey DeFee, and she encouraged us to do some fun things on our sewing machine. And I have seen Tracy's video during this collaboration, and she did something similar with one of her junk journal covers. And yeah, in that moment when I saw it, I was totally in love. I was totally in love with this technique that she has shown in her video, and I was sure I have to try that out, and that's my result. So Tracy, if you probably are watching this video, not probably, I've learned that probably is the wrong word. If you perhaps are watching this video, sorry, thank you so much for your inspiration. Without your video, this journal cover would not exist. That's the truth. Okay, so I have made this out of some fabric and lace. I've layered that, and then I've sewn here with my sewing machine, so perhaps you can see some of the stitching here in between. And then I took a really small pair of scissors, this one here, and I've cut the layers in different ways, and then I've teared it a little bit so that it gets this fluffy optic here. Here on the bottom I have added a little label so that you can write what you want here, so that you can document some things in your life or diary things or whatever. And I've decided that I want to put this cover technique all around this cover, so that it is really extremely and eye-catching, I would say. That you also have to experience some things with your hands when you go over it. So it's really, really cool to touch. It's so fluffy and so cool. I'm so in love. And those colors I've made with some Distress Oxide inks. So originally the most of these things that I've used here were in this white or beige color, so I wanted to have it in this little bit mix between summer and autumn colors. So this turquoise reminds me to some watercolor, and this brown is the beginning of autumn, so it's in between of these both seasons. That was the reason why I have made it like this and used these colors. And I was really surprised how well it worked to dye these different materials with Distress Oxide inks. So it was really surprising for me, because I thought that probably some of the materials would not catch this color so well, but I think it turned out really, really well. And I really love how you can see the different layers. For example, here I've added a really, really old lace on the very first layer of this whole thingy, and you can see these things here peeking out, and I really, really like that. And Also on the spine here, you can see some different laces and that stuff coming through these other materials. And I think this is really, really cool. So if you want to try that out, please check out Tracy's videos. There she shows you how she has done this, this technique. I will link the video down below for you so that you can check that out. So let's go into it. So this is the beginning of it. And I think these colors, when you open the journal, I mean, it's a personal thing what your emotions tell you when you see some colors. But for me, this is some kind of really in between of summer and autumn. Yeah, hopefully you can feel this the same. And for the inside here, I've used a fabric that originally was made to place it on a table, like a placement or something like that. And it had this orange and turquoise writing here on top, so I thought that I want to include that here as well. I've stamped over this with some, not stamped, I've stenciled over this with some Distress oxide ink as well. And during this journal, you can see my Teabag Birds paper collection. That's a digital printable paper collection that you can find in my Etsy shop. And you will also find those The Show Must Go On papers that I also have in my shop. So I will tell you something in detail about that later. Here on this little bulb pin, I've included this little charm. And as you can see, this is a little bit turquoise, silver and gold. So yeah, I had a really difficult job to bring those colors here to these little charms. I've did that with some of the other charms here as well. As you can see, this little owl, how is that called? You know, owl. Someone told me how to say that, you see what this is. And this one as well, I've put some color on top and let that dry, and then I used some gilding wax in this gold color. Hopefully my camera can catch that, to give these the colors of the cover and also of this lace that I've used here on this side. So from the side it looks like this. And I've tried to do that with nearly all of the charms that I've added here to the pages. And also, for me, a special thing of this journal is that I've used some real feathers. So I got these from a very dear friend here from the campsite. She was on her holidays and she has gifted these feathers here to me. And I tried to include some of these to this journal as well. I've never done that before, but I think I figured out some techniques to include real feathers to your journal, and also in a way that they can be, that they can stay there forever and not fall apart, fall off from the journal, Sorry. So this is a tag that comes from my The Show Must Go On digital printable paper kit. I've just backed it with some old book pages so that you can have some journaling space. You can add some gesso here and journal on this, or you can of course journal on the front side. So yeah, this has its home here in this little side pocket. And I've also included many pages of some old bird books. So I don't know exactly how old this book is, so I can't say if it's a real vintage book, but it's really old and it has these gorgeous old pictures of some birds, and I thought these colors would fit really well with this popping turquoise. So I tried to get some, vintage looking elements into this journal, combined with some more popping and modern colors. So this turquoise and the green, and here will be some orange on the other pages as well. And to get this vintage feeling into this journal, I've also included some original vintage postcards, as you can see here, and for example this one here. Some of them have some writing on the back side, so some original handwriting. So these are no copies, they are the originals. This is from my Teabag Birds paper collection that you can find in my Etsy shop. By the way, I have listed the printables that I've used here in this journal down below in the description box as well. And I've also tried to include some more modern book pages, like this, for example, when I had the feeling that the colors match. This orange, I think, matches really well with these tea bags that I have here in my printable. And I've also tried to get some matchy colors so that this makes sense. And this is these colors are really great. And this is some kind of a modern page, a little bit glossy, but I think with these more vintage elements it's not so negatively outstanding. I don't know how to say that, but sometimes you have these modern pages, these glossy pages from some modern books, and they seem to don't fit into your journal. But I think if you play around with some colors and matching things, then you can also include such pages into your journal with these gorgeous pictures. Often those books have these gorgeous pictures, but we don't know what to do with them, and I think I have managed it here to get this into a context, hopefully. Some of the pages I have dyed with some distress oxides and coffee. So I have put a stencil to the page, and then I've put the oxide on top and then sprayed some coffee to get these more abstract version of the stencil. I didn't want to have such a clear result of the stenciling, so I really like this technique with these water-based colors. So this is from my Teabag Birds digital printable paper, and I have also some really plain journaling cards and tags, as often in my journals, because I want to have the new owner the possibility to have really much space for her own creativity. So I want to have my own, this own thing in this journal. I want to have some of my creativity shown here and some of my art here, but I also want to have space for own creativity, and I always try to make my journals in a way that here's space where you can be creative and, do your own things, and at the same time use the things that are already here to have a starting point for new things. And it's always really, really interesting to see what the people who get such a journal do with these things. I mean, this, for example, is only a little scrap. I tried out some things and I have this here, and I think this can be a great material to do some collaging or some other things, and I'm always so excited what the new owner will do with these things that I also included here into the journal. I have also many pages that are some kind of franken pages. As you can see here, I've used a lot of really old and really vintage book pages. I've sewn them together and made them sturdy so that they can be included here without falling apart. So this is also shall be this collective character. So don't know how I can explain that, but when a page is made out of different materials and different pieces and is sewn together here, for example, then for me it's this collective character. So it's a collection of different materials, different kinds of paper and that stuff. And that's the same with the theme of this journal. So for example, this one is also something I have collected, and I can put it into this journal here as part of this collection. Don't know if that makes sense to you. Yeah. And as I said in the beginning, I think I have found out some ways to include those real feathers. For example, here I have taken this piece of lace. I have dyed this in this turquoise color by myself as well. And then I've put it to the edge of the page, and with a zigzag stitch with my sewing machine, I went over it to fix these feathers here on the end, and I think that looks really nice. You can also take a journaling card and tuck that here behind the feathers. That would look really great, and it will stay there as it would stay in a normal tuck spot made out of paper. So yeah, I will show you some other ways to include feathers to your journal later. So this tag, probably you know this tag, we have made that in one of my fast flow stitching videos. So that was also a result from this collaboration I have talked about in the beginning. So I thought this would fit really well in here. The colors match, and I think, yeah, the butterflies and that stuff match as well. And this is a piece of, I always know how it's written, but how to say that. It's this braille paper. I don't know. You know, this paper from the books for the people who can't see anything, for the blind people. Normally I use this in its original color. I mean, this was white originally, and normally in my past journals I have put it into the journals like it was, because I had this, yeah, respect to do anything with these papers, because this is so special, and I would never be able to read this here only with my fingers. It's such a big thing for me that I was not able to change the color or yeah, the paper itself in the past. But during this project there was a little accident. I had this paper laying around here with my other materials, and I had some distress oxide with water on an acrylic block, and I wanted to place that on top of another paper to make some color, put some color to that paper, and accidentally I lost the acrylic block, and it splashed down to my, the acrylic block has fallen down to my table, and the color, this distress oxide ink, splashed all around, and accidentally some of the color came to this paper that was laying there on my table. And I was really angry about myself, and I discussed with myself why this accident happened to me. But when I saw how this came out on this paper, I thought, okay, let's put more of the color to this paper. It was a really strange feeling for me, but I really like this outcome of this. So these stronger colors that you can see in the background are distress oxide inks with some water, and this here I have made with some StazOn ink in timber brown. So I took my ink pad, so that's the jet black, but the other one is the same, opened it, and then I went over this page like so with the ink pad really carefully to get this grungy look, and I think that's really special. And this, yeah, this feels so cool. Yeah, sorry that I talk about this so long, but I'm so in love with this paper, and I think sometimes those accidents can be something really cool as well. So what's that? This is maybe a little bit too long, so let's cut this here. So I like the threads of my sewing machine, but probably perhaps not so long. So here I also tried something with the feathers. So I have taken a bigger piece of ephemera, so this is here underneath. I think you can't see that. Then I have glued the feathers on top that they can stay in place around here, because that are, yeah, many feathers. It would not be possible to take them to the sewing machine without, yeah, problems. And then after the glue was dry, I've taken this smaller piece of ephemera, glued that on top as well, and then I have sewn around so that now the glue and the stitching is holding the feathers here. I've included this little postage stamp here as well. And special effect, do I have something really small here at the moment? No, but here is a pocket as well, so you can put something really tiny in here and use this spot for some hidden journaling or whatever. Here we have these both pieces, and here you can see the difference to this page. So on this page I've tried that out with this timber brown StazOn ink, and here I've left it like it was because I couldn't decide which one I like better. Yeah. Sometimes you have these problems. Okay, so the most of these pockets and that stuff, the belly bands and the tags, come from these both digital printable paper collections that I've mentioned before. The one is called Teabag Birds and the other one is called The Show Must Go On. Here we have a journaling card that I've made out of some printables from 49 Dragonflies. This was a design team project that I've made for 49 Dragonflies. If you want to check that out and if you want to know how I made these journaling cards, then please check out my last videos. You will find it there. Also in the playlist that says design team projects for 49 Dragonflies. There you will find it, but it's one of my last videos. I have made a really cool technique with some distress oxides and some stencils, sewing machine and that stuff. So I really like how this fits together with the other colors. You can also attach some feathers to a tag, like here, and I think I really like that with this lace. So I've took this lace, and then originally this lace was white, as you can see here on this side. I glued that first so that it can stay in place. I've put the feather on top, and then I've sewn around with my sewing machine. And then when that was finished, I took this and put it into some coffee like so that this part of the lace gets this brown and vintage effect, the same as this frame around here. So I really like this kind of distressing. It gives it a little bit, yeah, some kind of a different look than if you would do it with some distress oxides and this, you know, these things here, or distress ink and this tool. I really like that. Okay, so this is a double tuck spot. You can put this in here and something smaller in here. So yeah, if you have something tinier, then you can put it there. This is a bigger pocket. You can, no, it's not a pocket. Would make no sense if this would be a pocket, Louisa. You can't put anything in here. This is a flip out. Sorry. Here are so many ideas and so many things, and I worked on this so long that I can't remember everything. Sorry. Okay, so this is a flip out. You can glue something here if you don't like this writing, but these birds, I was so happy when I found the book where I have these birds from, and also these owls, and also the contrast between this page and this page is really cool, I think. That gives also this feeling of, yeah, this between the seasons. This is some kind of summer for me. I mean, the colors, and this is autumn, and that's in between of this, yeah. This is a tuck spot. Here I did the same thing, the same technique with the feathers, and I really like this feeling. I wish you could touch this. This is so cool. So if you like this, and if you enjoy collecting feathers, or probably you have a feather collection at home, please try this out. Try this out. This is so cool. You can also use a stapler to fix this, but you have to put some glue underneath. I have taken some glue, put that here, some bookbinders glue, put the feathers on top. Then I took this little ticket and folded it like so, and then I've stapled it and after that I have put a heavy book on top so that this whole surface here of the ticket is glued really well to the card so that you can't pull the feathers out. Yeah, if you would only staple them, it can happen that this comes out with the time, and of course that's nothing that we want to have in our journal. Little tag. And this, oh, this is one of my first pages, or a part of one of the first pages that I've ever made. It's so long ago that I have made this page, and probably you are wondering how I made this. So this is some watercolor paper, and I have to laugh because it's so funny for myself. This is some watercolor from a children's watercolor palette. In the very beginning of my junk journal journey, I was not sure if I want to continue with this. And I, of course, couldn't expect or see where I will be in a few years. And I thought I don't want to spend money on really, expensive supplies. I want to try this thing out. And I thought I can make some really beautiful things with the watercolor that normally is meant for children. And as you can see, it worked. So I took some watercolor paper and this kind of sponge, and I just went here with a spray bottle with some water, spritzed this with water, and then I went into these watercolors for children have these round little things, and then I went into the color like this, into different colors, green, blue, and some brown as well, and then I just pressed it to the paper like so, let it dry, and it's here. And excuse me, I had this paper in my stash for such a long time, and now I thought the colors would match really well. And I also wanted to include something here from my very first days of junk journaling. So yeah, if you know it, it's probably something special. If you don't know it, there are green circles on this white page. Yeah. This is some kind of junk paper. I mean, it's a junk journal. We have junk paper in here, of course, but probably you remember some of the very first pages. So let me show you that you can realize what I mean. So this is the one half of this page, and where's the second part of it? Here. This is this page where I've laid the stencil down and then put some Distress Oxide inks to get this really abstract result of this stencil. And as you can see, the colors are really, they are blending into each other. So that means here was much color and much water, especially much water. And to get rid of this, I took some other pages and just put them on top. And then I've got this thingy here. It soaked the water that was too much on this page. And then I got this, and I think that's really cool. I really like this, especially because of this white in the background. Sometimes we are afraid of using white pages in our journals, but why? You can use some stamps now, stamp some beautiful things here in between. Some butterflies would match really well, I think, or some birds or whatever. Or you can write something here on top, and this background is not so intensive that it would destroy your journaling. So you could use a black pen and write on top here, and you will have no problem, and you will have this background as well. That was the plan. I also made some scraps out of this braille paper. Arc, you know. I think that looks really cool. And it's also interesting to see the front and the back side of that paper. So it's really different. Yeah, this oxide ink reacts really different on the front and the back. Yeah, I have these little banners that I have turned into these little scrap notepads. So you can make some hidden journaling here. Or of course you can also tear this and use that for some collages that you want to make in the journal. some vintage postcards here, and here I have the same technique with the distress oxide and some coffee, and here I used my technique with the stencils. I have shown you that in another video as well. That is this video where I have jazzed up my coffee dyed papers, and I've used this technique here. And as you can see, you can also include some bigger feathers like this. I really like this, how this came out on top of this little tuck spot thingy. It looks really beautiful in combination with this orange color here in the background. If you want to include those thicker feather things here, you have to make sure that you take something like a hammer, for example, or press it with your fingers if that's possible, to get this a little bit flat. With these smaller feathers, it's no problem. You can use them like they are. But these things here, you have to make sure that this is really flat. Otherwise, this cannot be held by the stapler. It would be too thick to staple through it. Here I have also used some additional glue to hold that in place. And I also have put some glue under this area here so that this stays flexible and can be also made like this, if you like that better. But that this middle part is glued really well and that the feather can't move like this and fall out here. So it's really sturdy, and I think, yeah, it will stay there really, really long. This is, yeah, some kind of medium size of a feather. And of course, you can also use these things, these feathers, if they are a little bit more sturdy, to tuck something behind. So that also would work if you have a light paper that you want to tuck in here. That would work. And here, that was some kind of a really interesting experience as well. First of all, I wanted to sew here and only here on the feather. But then I realized that I have forgotten to flatten this part. What I told you before, yeah, work with your hammer and make this flat. I have forgotten it. I was wondering why my sewing machine made some strange noises. When I have sewn until here, I realized, oh, I have forgotten to flatten this. I was really happy that my sewing machine didn't die. And then I had the problem that this part of the feather was like this. It came up from the page because this was moving around a little bit. It was turning around. And then I thought, why not sewing here like so that it can lay flat, and this can be a little bit, yeah, three-dimensional, a little bit like so, but that's not the problem. But it lays now really flat on the page, and I think that looks really, really cool. So now you can also use some really light, I mean, that has to be tiny and light, what you put behind here. So you can see this is a little bit too much when the book page is folded like this, but tiny things can be tucked behind here like so as well. Some of the pages I put together with these little things here. Don't know, do you need a tutorial about how to attach single pages to each other? I was always wondering if you probably want to see that, how I do that. In the beginning of my junk journaling journey, I was always wondering how the people do that. If you have a beautiful book and you take out the pages, it's not always possible to take out those double pages. Sometimes you have these single pages, and I was always wondering how you can attach those single pages to each other. But yeah, I have different ways to do that. One you can see here with this thing that, yeah, I mean, this is a single page and this is a single page, and I have attached them to each other with this little thingy there. There are different possibilities to do that, I would say. This is a really easy method. And I have also found out a really good thing how to attach, it's so easy, but for me it's really cool, how to attach some single pages that have not the same size. This one is the same size like the other one. But what to do if this page, for example, is only until here and it's ending here? Perhaps I can show you that here, if I don't forget. If you need a tutorial on this, please leave a comment and let me know if you are interested in doing this, or if you already know that, then I can save the time to do a tutorial about that. Can you take this out? No, you can't take this out. This is a tuck spot and this is part of the tuck spot, like so, and it only, yeah, seems to be, you know, that you can take it out. I really like that, this layering with these feathers and that stuff. And also here it looks like a little net, not net, what's this little, is it nest? In German it's nest. What's that in English? This round thing that the birds, this bird's home. Net? That seems to be wrong. You know what I mean. These round things from all the collected little pieces from the birds, they make this round thingy and then they sit in there and get their babies and make love and that stuff, you know. And here the feathers are coming up a little bit. They are, yeah, I left them as round as they were, so that they can come up here. And this looks so cool. This is so fluffy when you go over it, and it's, I think, a really cool decoration for your page and a real cool frame as well. Yeah, tell me what you think about this. I would be really interesting in what you think about using these feathers. I think I've seen that not so often in other junk journals. And I would really be interested in what you think about this. Would you do that in your own journals? Have you done that before? What do you think about this? And do you like that, or do you think she's crazy? What is she doing that hasn't something to do with junk journaling? So please let me know. This journaling card I've also made in this design team project video for 49 Dragonflies. These are some printables from Barbara's shop. So Barbara is the face behind 49 Dragonflies, and she has really gorgeous pictures like this in her shop, and I've made these journaling cards. So this goes into here. And also this little pocket here, it's the same technique that I used for making the journaling card itself. And I think, yeah, cool thing. Looks really cool. Yeah. And it's always such a strange feeling to let such a journal go. It's, yeah, really incredible, and it's a little bit of a sad feeling, but at the same time I have so much joy to let this go and to, yeah, see the reaction of the new owner. It's always so, you know, on the one hand it's like feeling of joy, and on the other hand it's so sad. It's really hard to describe as well, and these feelings, I think you can only have these feelings if you make junk journals by yourself as well. So here I have something that I've not done so often in the past. So I have used some of these round color samples that you can get, yeah, you know, in these stores where you can buy color for your walls, or not color but paint for your walls, and you can get these samples to see if that fits to your room. And here in Austria we can get these in this round shape. They have this hole, and I've just backed this with some coffee dyed papers so that you have some journaling space on the back. And I think this is a really cool thing to use as a little journaling card. I've also made some snippet rolls out of the leftovers that I have, the leftover fabrics, this leftover bits and pieces, you know, to put that here instead of some lace. So on some of the pages I have this lace here the whole way from top to bottom, and here I've decided to do it a little bit different and add these little thingies here from the snippet roll. This paper comes from Italy. Francesca, if you're watching, hi, I've included your paper here that you have sent me the other day. So this comes from Italy, really, really special, and I'm a little bit sad that I have to let it go, but I thought this matches so well in here, so I wanted to have these popping colors in between of those more vintage colors, and I thought that would fit really well. Sometimes you have to do things that make you sad to be happy in the end. That's strange, I know. Yeah. This is also such a journaling card from this design team project that I made for 49 Dragonflies, and it's the same time it's no journaling card anymore. I made it to use it as a journaling card, but here I used it in a different way. I've glued it here to this paper, and here there's a little pocket that you can use to put something in. The same as here, this vellum paper here is sewn on top of this sunflower paper, and here you can put something inside, and you can also tuck something behind here. So of course, as always, I'm really interested what you think about this. So please write everything into the comment section, what you think about this. Do you like that? Or do you think, oh, it's too much color, it's not vintage enough, it's ugly? Please let me know what you think about it. And even if you don't like it, you can also give this video thumbs down. Please do it, but leave a comment what you think about this and why you don't like it. So of course I want to have your honest opinion about this, and of course you can also write the things that you don't like, and you can also put the thumbs down. But then if you do that, please tell me why you don't like it. It's really important for me to know that and to hear your feedback about the things that I do here. And of course I want to know how you what you think about this journal, if you like it or not. And if you like it, of course you can give this video a thumbs up as well. And this way you can also support my channel a little bit, because you know this algorithm really likes thumbs down or thumbs up and some comments. By the way, this is journal number 68 that I've ever made in my life. So I've counted the bigger journals that I've made. I also have some that were really, really thin from the beginning of my journey here. I've not counted those, but those journals that have this more than one signature. It's number 68, and that's also something that I nearly can't believe. I'm doing this only since a few years, and I've already made 68 journals. That's really strange, and really, really, strange in a positive way. Sometimes I have to watch my older videos to realize what I did in the past, and also flipping through a journal and making a video like this is something like realizing what I did, and I have this finished result. It's some kind of journey to the past for myself as well, and this reflection of my process is really, really important for me, and that's the reason why I would like to encourage you to leave a comment and tell me what you think about this. And if you have something to say, please write it into the comment section. That's also a really big point, that I need your feedback to learn for myself and to see perhaps these things with different eyes than with my own eyes. So perhaps that makes sense. Here is a really, an example, but really hard to see example on how to attach two single pages to each other that have not the same size. As you can see, this page here on the left side, so I have to check that if you can see that, yes. This page has this height, and this page is the other page that I have connected with this page, and this is way smaller, as you can see. I've done it with the same technique. I've made this little thing here in the middle, and I've glued it, and then I've sewn around, And then I just teared the strip that I have used to connect both of these pages from the edge of this page to the edge of this page, so that when you look at the single pages you nearly can't see it, and here it also looks a little bit vintage and rough and junky, and it has not this straight paper strip like so and so and so. But yeah, it looks a little bit more artsy, I think, if you do it like that. So I've asked that before. Please leave a comment if you need a tutorial on how to do that. I will try my best to explain that to you in detail. It's always very hard to explain it when it's already in the journal and not you have not the single pages in your hand to show. But of course I can explain that in detail as well. This is one of my, so the back side of one of my fast flow stitching pages. I've shown you a video about this page as well. And probably you'll remember that we've made this element here out of some die cuts. Excuse me, please. Some vintage scraps, some stickers and that stuff. And I've sewn around here. Really randomly, really, yeah, fast flow stitching. And the back side, of course, had this stitching as well, but not this decoration. And I tried to make this little element here and put it into this circle of the stitching to have the stitching as an element of this page as well, so that it looks like it was planned from the very beginning. Of course, this one I have sewn separately and then to this green paper, and then I have glued this here on the 3 sides to make this little pocket to hold these tickets. And I think that's a great way to decorate the back side of those fast flow stitching pages after, yeah, you have done the original page. And that's a great opportunity to put something on top that looks, yeah, like planned, you know. Yeah, okay, so I think we are at the end. Thank you for being so patient with me. I always have the feeling I'm talking so long about my journals, but this kind of videos, I'm sorry to say that, but this kind of videos are not only meant for you, but this is always a thing. These videos, these flip-through videos are also a thing that I make for myself, to document my journey with junk journaling and to document what I have done. And I need these videos on my channel to have the chance to rewatch them a few months or years later. Sometimes I'm watching my very first flip-through videos just to see what I did in the past and to reflect this, to give a feedback to myself. And that means that I have to talk about this a little bit longer, because I have to express my thoughts and my feelings about that. Of course, I want you to get some inspiration and to probably learn, not probably, perhaps learn something new. I've learned that probably is meaning something totally different. Sorry, I'm mixing those words. Perhaps you've got some inspiration as well, and that would make me really happy, of course. But the main reason, to be honest, I'm making these videos is, yeah, to be with myself and with my journal in one room and with no one else. But of course, I'm willing to share that, and I'm really happy to get your feedback about this as well. Okay, so hopefully you like this. If yes, give this video a thumbs up. If not, thumbs down and write why you don't like it. I'm really excited to hear your comments and your thoughts about this journal. Hopefully we will see the next time. Have a very great time. Be creative and stay healthy. Bye bye. See you.